You ready, dude?
Yeah, dude. I'm born ready. Look how swole I'm looking lately.
Yeah, dude. Fucking bulging armpits. It's fucking nice. I fucking do those biceps though.
Freaking dad bod's kicking.
Fuck yeah. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
What up, party people? It's the
What up?
TV
What it?
Sports and Gaming Podcast.
Yeah.
We are here, episode 35, and we got the
35.
Crazies today.
Yeah, it's about to get real lit. Sam's not here to keep us under control. It's about to be a real lit in this house.
Just the Crazies today. DV Slasty is out. It's just DV Socks and DV Macho. And we're going to get lit. We're going to start it off with a little controversial intro topic. This was something that Sam...
We've been talking about for a few weeks now, honestly.
We've been talking about this intro topic for a few weeks. I've proposed it a couple times. Sam was like, nah, not doing it.
Sam was not about it.
Yeah, he is totally not about it. So since we just got the Crazies today, perfect opportunity to get the intro topic out there. And that intro topic is, do you wipe sitting or standing up? What kind of wiper are you?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get real in detail here. So
Well,
it might
okay,
get a little
let's,
might get a little uncomfortable.
I don't like.
I'm not gonna
We don't need any pink eye. Let's avoid the pink eye at least.
So me personally, you do get the occasional like explosiveness. So you gotta like kind of look in the mirror and make sure like didn't go up your back a little bit.
Oh, you got that
like,
baby poop going on.
Yeah. But typically, I'm a sitting wiper. You got to use wipies though.
Oh, you're a wipey type.
I'm a wipey sitting wiper. Yeah. I can't.
Okay, so still goes along with the baby
Yes.
style pooping. You got the baby
I
wipes.
actually
You got
just
the up the
use
back.
Yeah, I just use baby wipes actually.
Oh, nice.
It's real soothing.
I guess now that you have the new baby, you probably just buy for everyone. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The baby just transitioned to what you already had.
1,000 pack. It's cheap. 1,000 pack of
Costco.
wipes. Yeah.
Just going to Sam's Club just to buy 5,000 baby wipes.
Hell yeah, dude. Got to keep it clean.
Hey,
It's nothing worse than having a crusty ass. All right, Junior, what you got?
Bro. Nobody want dingleberries. All right, you know why this topic came up? This is actually kind of personal.
You have to be a standing wiper.
It's got to be personal, right? For this topic.
Yes.
We've got to be
You're
extremely
wiping your ass. It's very personal.
Very vulnerable. It's funny that this topic came up, and it's because something that happened in my life. I'm a 36-year-old man. I've got some life experience. The reason this comes up is because I used to be a stand-up wiper. I
Wow.
transitioned to a sit-down wiper, but I used to be a stand-up wiper. If you didn't know that, believe it or not, I used to stand and wipe. And it was very vulnerable. I was very vulnerable when you would shit in a public area with a public stall. Nobody wants to do that to begin with. But then you go and stand up white, and you got that sliver of light in the door, and you got somebody who's always going to be eyeballing you between that sliver of light. Like, and then you got the balloon knot hanging out. You got like your privates hanging out, and then you're just trying to wipe your dirty ass. It gets real scary and nerve-wracking. And I didn't realize until I was probably a young 20-something-year-old. I don't know, maybe 23. 23 sounds about right. I'm not really sure. But I soon realized that there were sit-down wipers. I had
Yeah,
no
dude.
idea. I had no idea. I lived 20 plus years of my life on this God-given earth and had no idea you could sit down
And wipe your ass.
and wipe
Well,
your ass.
yeah, everybody's got to sit down and wipe their ass, right?
No, not everybody. I'm not the first.
What?
I guarantee you, if there is somebody in this world right now who is listening to this, they're mind blown that you can sit and wipe.
I wonder what
Because
like
they've been living their whole life, pants around their
standing
ankles,
wipers.
standing, wiping their ass
Looking with head between their knees, looking at their ass,
dude,
making sure it's fully clean. Oh God. There's got to be some kind of stat out there on like what the percentage of standing wipers versus sitting wipers is.
yeah, man, I kind
I
of
feel like
want
it's got
that
to be
would
like
be
95 to 5%.
dude to do a Google search real quick.
All right,
Maybe
I'm gonna
there
do a
is
Google
already.
search.
Let's get real deep. But yeah, that's very personable to me. Sam was not about answering that question. And you know what? That's perfectly in line with Sam, and I respect that.
Sounds
Sam
like a
is
standing wiper to me. So according to the Google, 79% are sitting wipers. There's 21% of people that stand up and wipe their ass. This is unreal.
I was part of that 21%, dude.
Wow.
I was part of that small margin.
I don't believe it. I don't believe there's 21% of Americans, or I guess not necessarily Americans, but
Well, I transitioned.
yeah.
I was
good
like,
for you, dude. Good for you. I'm glad you made the change. You know, you're moving up in the world.
yeah. I was like, I've been doing this my whole life. I could have been sitting.
Been so uncomfortable.
I was like, I need to change this, and I did. And now we're here, and we're talking about it
That's awesome.
on the DV Sports
That's-
and Gaming podcast.
With nice,
But
clean.
speaking of shit, the Lakers got swept in the Western Conference Finals.
Talk about shit.
Talking of shit, and that was straight stand-up wiping.
It was hard to watch, man. I watched every single one of those games, and I was actually pretty excited to like see because the Lakers were awful like throughout the first half of the season, and they made a bunch of trades at the All-Star break, and they were the best team after the All-Star break, had the best record. So they were actually doing really good, and they were playing really good ball.
For sure.
And then they ran into Nikola Jokic, and they pretty much ran into a brick wall. I've never seen Anthony Davis look so awful, like just trying to score. This dude looked useless just because he has no bag. All he does is take little sky hooks. And when you got a 7-foot Nikola Jokic who's massive, you're not going to be able to do any inside scoring. And he looked terrible. And I would say single-handedly, Anthony Davis is the reason that the Lakers got swept.
You think so? You think it was
I'm
all
gonna
on
say
Anthony
that.
Davis?
I'm going to say because Austin Reeves played great.
Austin
Hachimura
Reeves
had
God.
great stats.
Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, it is sad that it came to those guys for them to be in any of the games.
Yeah.
Like that's
like,
what it felt like.
Even in game 4, like whenever they were winning, LeBron had like 35 points in the first half, and then he was just gassed in the second half. He didn't really take any shots. And then it kind of showed who the Lakers were. They need LeBron to essentially touch the ball in every possession to have a good possession. And he just could not do it. He's 40 years old or 38.
And even then, how long was it? It was like, what game was it? Was it the third game where he finally hit a three?
Yeah, he was like 18 in the fourth quarter or something like that.
He kept throwing up threes, and he kept on missing them. And then it was like the third game where he finally made one. Like, so it's not...
He showed up to shoot freaking 3-pointers at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the game was at like 8 p.m.
Dude, no wonder he fucking gassed.
Yeah,
what the hell is this man doing? He's shooting threes at 1 p.m. The game's at like 7:30.
Poor Lakers, man.
He's got to have better self-awareness, right? He's an old man. He's not what he used to be. He probably took an ice bath in between and stiffened up.
I imagine. That's the only way.
Anyway, so I since we're talking about LeBron, it's got to affect his legacy, right? Like, LeBron has been so deep in the playoffs so many times, and so many times he's came out on the other side, on the losing side.
Yeah, but
And
look at the teams LeBron's played in the playoffs.
but that
I
doesn't.
feel like I
I
feel
feel
like
like
some of
that's
the
an
teams
excuse.
LeBron's come up against have been some of the best teams like in the history of the NBA.
I feel like that's an excuse. I feel like it's an excuse. And LeBron, like I feel like that loss. I've always felt like Michael Jordan is the number one player ever because of how clutch and when it mattered most, he always won. Um, and I feel like LeBron James has lost so many times and has not showed up when it mattered most so many times. Um, and honestly, dude, me and you have gone back and forth on this small part of his game that I absolutely hate. LeBron is a prestigious flopper. He flops so much. It is part of his game. It has changed the game of the basketball. Like everybody is flopping, and it all started with his lead. He flops so many times. When he is not fouled, he is reacting as if he has been hit hard in the. He will get grazed across the chest and be laying on the ground holding his face like he just got freaking chest chopped to the mouth. Like it is ridiculous.
He's
You
making
never.
MVP plays.
And then he's crying when he doesn't get a call. If he's fouled, he will get fouled and he will be crying if he doesn't get the call. But it's because of all the times that he was not fouled and he's laying on the floor as if he was just murdered. Like
It's because
it
he's
is
the
so
king.
bad. It is
He
so bad.
runs the NBA, and he definitely likes to feel like he has the NBA in his grasp. I think that's what it is.
Le- don't get me wrong. I think LeBron James is still probably the best player in the NBA. I think he makes everybody around him better. But this is the one component that I have always hated about his game. Therefore, I just despise him because he is the biggest crybaby on the court.
Yeah, and I don't really see the NBA changing. I think it's honestly just going to get worse. I mean, you still see it today with the young players, Tatum and like a bunch of other players. They're all doing it.
Well, actually, so something that came up recently within the last couple of days, the NBA is going to start charging techs for flops. They're going to
Good.
start testing it in the what's it called?
Summer League,
Probably just
G League,
the G League, Summer League, probably all of it, just because
Europe.
it's a terrible part of the game.
Yeah, it is,
I like
man.
how they've changed the game where like Harden was just all about drawing fouls. It wasn't about scoring. He was
He
just
looks like a completely
let me get
different
people in
player.
positions to get like draw fouls. That was
Yeah.
his whole game, and they fixed that, which was awesome. It completely had to make him change his game of basketball and play basketball. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good step forward. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. A tech, I don't know. That's kind of maybe that's what it needs to be.
Ejection. I don't know. Two
Yeah, just
flopping
fart.
techs and
You
you're
know
out.
what? Yeah, two flopping stick, dude. You know what? High stakes. You want to flop? You're out
You're
the game.
gone.
You're out
You're
the game.
gone.
This ain't the bitches league, man.
You're giving up
LeBron,
free throws and you're
bro.
ejected.
LeBron
giving-
James. LeBron James' career is over. You know what? I'm predicting it. LeBron James' career is over. Two techs every game for
You know what's-
flopping.
You know what's frustrating about you saying that is that like after the entire series, the Lakers had the headlines, even though the Nuggets were whooping that ass. And even after they continued to whoop that ass, the headlines after the sweep are is LeBron retiring. So is you cannot like everybody. It feels like everybody's just kind of taking away how good the Nuggets are, just 'cause,
I mean-
the Lakers were in the playoffs and it was LeBron. But the
Let's
Nuggets look pretty goddamn good, man. If you've watched that series, they look pretty unstoppable. They have
I'll say
Murray.
we're kind of guilty of that
Jokic.
right now too. I mean, we kind of started off with the Lakers.
Exactly.
but
Like that's just how it is, right? I mean,
that's
it's
the big
LeBron,
team. It's the big
Lakers.
name, the Lakers. But honestly, we should be talking about the Nuggets.
We should
And
They're so
How
goddamn
good
good.
are the Nuggets? Like, how good are they? What do you
Their
think?
shooting is unreal. And the thing is, I mean, they have Jokic, but he really doesn't even need to score that much. He just gets so much attention that he allows everybody else around him to score. And he's so good at making that pass. And whenever it gets to clutch time, you know who else they got? They got Jamal Murray. And they
Dude, Jamal
literally
Murray is
just
so
run
good.
pick and roll. In like the last 2 or 3 minutes of every game, they just run 2-man offense. Jamal Murray pick and roll with Jokic, and they just score every single possession.
Dude,
And then
I
they
just
end up double teaming, and then they kick it out, and there's open 3 pointers. That's their offense at the end of games, and it's unstoppable.
like when I think of the Nuggets while I was watching that series, I just think like these guys don't stop.
No, they're
They are
dogs,
go,
man.
go, go all the time, fighting nonstop. They there's no regression. They just keep on going. And they got Contavious Caldwell Pope, which is a huge 3-point guy. He drains threes, like is always an outlet and been known for so long to be a 3-point threat. Michael Porter Jr., which is a super
That dude's
very
been
talented
so
young dude.
moist.
Aaron Gordon, that guy's been
He's taking it
a
back, dude. He's been
powerhouse.
so good in the paint.
Like they just have so many weapons, and their motor is 100 all the time. It just does not stop. And they took it to the Lakers, and the Lakers, they could not keep up. They just could not keep up. They got swept and embarrassed. And yeah, I mean, now we got LeBron talking about retirement because of the Lakers. And Nikola Jokic had some big games, man.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is for
Dude can
real.
ball.
He is a monster. He should have been a
Should have been the
three-time
MVP.
MVP, like consecutive MVP. And this whole season, after every game, their head coach was talking about this is not our goal. Our goal is the championship.
Yep.
We won. Goal is the championship. We're still like heading for that goal. And honestly, I don't know who's gonna stop him. I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I don't know who's gonna stop him. And honestly, that probably, you know what, that takes us over to the Heat Celtics in the Eastern Conference. Game 6 happened last night, and Game 6 was wild. It was
It's got to be one of
so
the best playoff
freaking
basketball
wild.
games in the history of the NBA.
For those that did not see it, the Celtics kind of had the lead for most of the game. Jimmy Butler was kind of suspect. He looked like he was avoiding taking the ball to the hole. He was kind of passing the ball more. He looked very uncomfortable during the game. And of course, into the fourth, he starts taking over. He starts making shots. He starts drawing fouls. He starts cutting into that lead. And at the very end, he draws a foul behind the 3-point line that they originally called a 2-point foul. And then they reviewed it, and turns out he was behind the 3-point line. He got 3 shots. They were down 2 points. He had to make all 3 to take the lead, 2 to tie it, right? There was 3 seconds left in the game. So whatever he did, it was kind of expected that that was going to be the end of the game. Like, pretty much what it was. The dude,
But
the dude makes all 3 free throws. Ice cold. Jimmy
dude.
Butler, dude. All 3 free throws. They take the 1-point lead. Of course, Celtics take the timeout, take it to half court, bring it in. What's his name? Shoots
Marcus
3.
Smart.
Marcus Smart takes the 3-point shot within 3 seconds. He takes a pretty quick shot, honestly. He gets it off.
Yeah, catch and shoot.
Pretty quick catch and shoot from the left wing. And I thought it was going in. I was like,
Yeah, I thought it was
damn.
too. It was.
I thought it was going to be moist.
It hit the inside of the rim like 3 times. I
It
thought
hits
was
the
going in.
inside of the rim, pops up, and I was already like, that's game, baby. Like, fuck yeah, Miami's going in the championship. Old Derek White, wily veteran, former San Antonio
Spurs.
Spur, comes in down below, gets the tip up off the backboard into the hoop. We got
For the
red
win.
lights around the backboard. Nobody knows who won the game. It was insane. And then upon replay, Derek White had the quick touch, put it back up off the backboard before the time expires. It goes in, and the Celtics win game
Dude,
6 to force a game
this
7.
the Celtics team this year is honestly probably one of the best teams that have been in the NBA, like NBA playoffs and like title contending, but they hurt themselves so much, and I think it's just because they're young,
They
and
are
their
very
head
young.
coach is not great. If you watched the game last night, the entire game, I was messaging Junior and Sam saying this thing's gonna get blown open because the Heat were awful.
They play terrible.
All they had going for them was Martin and Vincent making threes. That was
Mm-hmm.
the only reason, and they led the game. I think they were up 12 3-pointers over the Celtics, and that's the only reason they were down 10 to 15 points most of the game. And then fourth quarter hit, and then it became closer. But if you saw how the Celtics played in the fourth quarter, which is what they do almost every single game, which is why they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
It gets down to crunch time, last 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and they stop running their offense. They just go ISO, they let the clock run down, and they take awful shots
They
till the
do.
game's over. And that they should have lost the game because of
They
that.
should've.
And they should have blew this game out. They should have won this game by 20 plus because Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo combined like 5 for 40 in this game. Jimmy Butler had like 20 points with 12 points from the free throw line. Bam Adebayo had like 8 points. And they looked terrible. And somehow it came down to a buzzer beater to win the game, which I don't know how to feel about it because going into game 7, the Celtics won 3 in a row. The last 2 games were complete domination. Game 4 and game 5, or game 5 and game 4 and game 5 were complete domination. They looked unstoppable. And then game 6 comes, and you thought Jimmy Butler was going to show up, and you thought he was just going to take over, and he just never showed up. He never showed up until free throws came at the end of the game.
No, I
But
mean,
neither did
he
the
was showing up
Celtics.
before the free throws. He's the guy who started making shots. He's the one who brought it back to 2 points only. And honestly, I want to take it back to something. The Miami Heat should have won. Duncan Robinson had 2 wide open 3-point looks.
Yes.
2 wide open, nobody around him at all whatsoever. The best 3-point shooter on the Miami Heat team. He is out there specifically to drain 3 points. He had 2 opportunities to end the game with 3-point shots with nobody around him, and he clanked them.
Not even close.
He clanked them,
I think
man.
that's
And I
the
was
thing about
like,
the
Duncan
Heat, man.
Robinson, he's getting paid to make threes, and he missed 2. And he made like
Wide open
3, or like more contested, harder 3-point shots before that. And I was like, dude, bro, you have got to make those.
I think this is the thing that's going to break the Heat, which, I was saying all day yesterday is, these role players aren't going to win the game for the Heat, which they almost did, to be honest. But if you're going to live and die by Duncan Robinson from the 3-point line, I don't see you being successful.
Well, let's be real. The Miami Heat have played this style of basketball all year of having to come from behind, and they have
Oh, yeah,
won
for sure.
many, many, many times throughout the season. So this is this is just like another day for them. And more often than not, they actually hit those shots, and they did. It took Marcus Smart missed the 3-point shot to win the game. It just so happened that Derek White was down below. Derek White, man, great pickup for them. Like, huge pickup for them.
Dude, he had like 4 clutch threes, too.
He
so
had a
good
lot
for
of
them.
threes in that game for them. Just a quick touch putback, and they won. But game 7, I'm super
Yeah,
excited
game
for that.
7.
It's happening Monday, tomorrow.
What do we think's going on in game 7? Going back to Beantown.
Dude,
Celtics
bro.
have all momentum, literally all momentum. The wind has been sucked out of the Heat's locker room.
Nah, I don't know.
What do you think?
I think this is right. I
Dude,
feel like this is
I
right
don't
in
know,
line.
man. There's no way the Heat are feeling anything but like anxiety right now with how Jimmy Butler being up 3-0 is like, we're good. And then the next game they lose and he's like laughing like, oh, I'm not worried. And then they lose the next game and then he's like, we're gonna win the next one, and then they lose the
Well-
next one too. And now they're going to Game 6, and Spoelstra is like in the media saying like, we don't know how we're gonna get it done, but we're gonna get it done. Like, have some confidence, bro. They've lost all confidence. They're done.
I'm gonna like this has been the Miami Heat all year. Like, this isn't anything abnormal to them. They have had to fight tooth and nail to get to where they're at right now all season. So for me, it's not like this is something that they're already playing with house money right now. Nobody expected them to be here. Nobody
Correct.
expected them to be 3 up on the Celtics.
They were so goddamn cocky.
Yeah, they were feeling themselves, man.
They were
Bro,
so cocky.
they were feeling
and then they
themselves.
lost 3 in a row, and all of a sudden, it's gone.
I think of the Heat, and I think they have the tenacity, they have the resiliency to pull out the Game 7 win. I think
So you
they're
think
going
the
to
Heat
win
are
it.
going to take it?
I think the Heat will take it. I think they go face them Nuggets players. And
Do you think the Heat have a better chance against the Nuggets or the Celtics?
I think the Celtics probably do, honestly.
Yeah. I think the Heat get swept, to be honest.
Maybe. Who do you have? Who do you got going?
I have the Celtics winning Game 7. I don't see there's any way they lose. You know, they went into a hostile environment, played awful, and came out with a dub. I don't think there's any way they show up like that at home, especially with all this momentum they have. I mean, they were down 3-0. They're trying to be the first team in history to come back from being down 3-0, going back to home court. I think they have all the confidence in the world right now. Jason Tatum's going to ball out. Jaylen Brown's going to ball out. It's going to be, I think the Celtics are going to win. I think Jimmy Butler will probably show up Game 7, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Well, we both got the Nuggets winning, though, either way, right?
I don't know, man. It'd be close. The Celtics would be a lot more close than the Nuggets or than the Heat, just because the Heat don't really have any like big. I mean, they have Bam Adebayo, but I feel like he's not really being Bam Adebayo against the Celtics. So like, what's he gonna do against Jokic? At least the Celtics have a couple of big men who are big bodies who are athletic.
They got Zeller, dude. Fucking Zeller out there,
God,
dude.
Zeller won't
the
see the
answer.
floor if he plays
Bro,
the
Zeller's
Nuggets.
the answer.
That's
I mean,
disgusting. Oh my God. This guy shouldn't even be on the freaking roster. God almighty. It's like Udonis Haslam. Like, what is this guy still doing?
all right. Well,
Christ.
speaking of all-time white guys, let's talk about Verstappen in Formula One. I want to transition over to Formula One.
We're
Now that
getting
we don't
into
got-
Formula One.
We don't got Sam. We don't got Sam here. The Crazies get to talk about Formula One. Monaco happened this morning. Of course, Verstappen comes out on top again.
Let's break down, I guess, Monaco and kind of the storyline of Formula One. It's the first time we're really talking about Formula One in the podcast, and we're pretty heavy Formula One fans. And the main thing for this season is Red Bull has been absolute domination. Hasn't even been close.
Nobody's come close.
So everybody came in thinking, Red Bull's still gonna just trounce everybody, which kind of happened. But Monaco's a completely different track than any other track that they race at throughout the whole year. There's not much passing. It's mainly qualifying, and whatever you get in qualifying is going to be close to where you finish in the actual race. Just because there's so much turns, it's not a high-speed race. There's not big DRS zones. So the qualifying is going, and if you've watched, or if you watch F1, and if you haven't, you should definitely give it a go. Watch the Netflix show. It's a good introduction. It'll get your feet wet, and you'll learn the people, and
Yeah, it'll get you going.
You'll grow and want to watch it. I promise you. And if you don't, maybe it's not for you. But so qualifying happened on Saturday yesterday, and it went down as one of the best qualifyings probably in the history of Formula One, just because the third qualifying. And qualifying works it's pretty cool in F1. So essentially there's 20 drivers, and 5 drivers get cut off each. There's 3
Qualifying
rounds.
round. Right?
Yeah, so after the first round, 5 drivers get cut off.
5
After the
slowest
second
drivers
round,
get
5
cut.
slowest drivers get cut. And then the last round is the 10 fastest drivers. and they race to get the fastest times, and whatever order they finish in, that's whatever order they start at the grid for the actual race. So the way this went down and I'm going to skip the first 2 rounds because, well, I'll say the first round. Checo wrecked. He's Red Bull, and he wrecked literally like on his second lap in qualifying, which is he's second in the championship. He's been absolutely dominating as well, equal to Verstappen, and he wrecked like on his second lap, and it was a bad wreck.
Checo is a driver for Red Bull, and they have the hands down fastest car. Nobody's even close, and for him to wreck takes him out of in Monaco. It takes him out of the race, so he's starting 20.
Yep,
so that's terrible.
Shot of getting any points.
Pretty much, if Red Bull is qualifying, typically they're top 3, and typically they're finishing 1, 2. Like they're that fast this year.
Yeah. So he wrecks, and the big story was Checo won last year in the Red Bull car, and the Red Bull car is better this year than last year. So him wrecking was pretty bad. But then we go to Q3, and you have the top of the top fast racers: Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc. Fernando Alonso has been right behind Verstappen all year long, and by right behind I mean the closest to him, which really isn't even that close. But if you watch this qualifying, dude, the top 4 people were within like 6/1000ths of a second. It was crazy how it happened because Esteban Ocon had pole position. He finished, and then right after he finished, Charles
Pole
Leclerc,
position is the fastest lap, the number 1 spot.
They start first on the race.
Ocon had the number 1 spot with the fastest lap.
And right after he finished, the clock is out. There's no more time. Everybody's on their last lap. This is for all the marbles. And normally they do their fastest lap on the last lap, just because their tires are warm and the street's warm, so they have more more grip. So Ocon grabs pole position, and everybody's like, "Oh my God! Like, where did Ocon come from? He's in an Alpine. Like, he should not be up there." But it was great. It was a great lap. And then Charles Leclerc comes right behind him. Wham! Like 0.002 faster than him. Pole position. And then right after, wham! Fernando Alonso. Pole position. Takes it right and if you saw how fast Fernando Alonso was going, you were like, there's no way anybody's taking that from him. Because he even said himself, he was like, I literally threw everything at the car, and I was going maximum that I could, and I was pretty uncomfortable driving. That's how fast he was going. And then last person on the street is Max Verstappen, and he's down like 0.2 going into the third sector. There's 3 sectors on the racetrack. He's down 0.2, which is a lot for a race car to make up in like the last 10 seconds of the race. And he manages to make up like 0.3 in the last 10 seconds of race. And if you saw him, he was literally wall bouncing with his tires because he was going so fast around the corners. He was hitting essentially all the corners with his tires. And he even said himself, he was like, I should have wrecked. He's like, I hit the walls multiple times. I was going so hard, and he took pole position. It was the craziest qualifying I've ever seen, especially at Monaco. It was nuts. If go watch highlights of it, it was just crazy.
It was awesome. So then we had the 1, 2, 3, 4 top 4 drivers all end within like a matter of seconds within each other. The pole position just changing so quickly. So the way it ended was Verstappen takes the race, 1. Number 2, Alonso. Alonso takes number 2. Verstappen. It's the story of the season, right? Red Bull is untouchable. Nobody's fast enough to catch up to him. They're winning by over 20 seconds before anybody even like. The only people who are close is the other Red Bull car.
You know what's crazy? Max Verstappen lapped Checo today 2 times.
That's pretty crazy, actually. But honestly, on Monaco, that's understandable. But I wanted to talk about Ocon. Can we talk about Ocon? I get so much shit for being an Ocon fan and claiming that Ocon is a good driver. And today he got in number 3 position, and he well deserved that podium position. He drove great. He drove amazing. And at the end of that race, it started raining hard. It threw a curveball and everybody's racing. Everybody was sliding all over the place. And Ocon still managed in an Alpine car who is below. They're a decent car, but they're not up there with Red Bull. They're not up there with Mercedes. They're not up there with Ferrari or even Aston Martin. They are not up there. And he managed to take the number 3 position. He had the number 4 position in qualifying, which is amazing for an Alpine car.
Yeah,
and it's all because of Ocon. Ocon is a great driver. And you guys shit on me so much. He deserves credit for this number 3 podium position that he took. He was amazing. He did awesome. Like,
I will give him credit for finishing in the position that he was given. I think if Charles Leclerc didn't get a 3 position penalty, I think Ocon finishes 4th.
yeah, but that's on Leclerc. That's not on Ocon.
Sure. I give him credit for finishing in the position he started in.
Yeah, I mean, he put himself in that position. Leclerc put himself in the position to get a penalty and move him down 3 spots. That's not Ocon's fault.
No. Ocon raced a good race, and I think Monaco's probably a track built for Ocon. He's good around turns.
Well, let's be real. Alpine is like they're a mid-tier car. They're not like the fastest car. They're not the slowest car. They're a mid-tier car. So typically for them to finish in the top 3 doesn't happen very often. So for him to finish top 3 is amazing, especially when there's all those other drivers. They're not the fastest on the straightaways. So yeah, this is probably better fit for them to be more successful is on these twisting, turning tracks. Because in a straight line, they're gonna beat the slower cars, but they're not going well up against these other guys.
Yeah, it was a good race. Ocon, good for Ocon. Got a podium. It's only like his 3rd podium of his career. Probably will be his last podium of his career until next year's Monaco race. And then
I wouldn't be surprised if he podiums like more this year. Like, you guys sleep on Ocon. Ocon,
I don't know, dude. Mercedes
Ocon's
looked pretty good today. Mercedes coming. Ferraris looked pretty good.
I would not be surprised. Ocon is the man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. All right.
Mm-mm.
With that being said, the season's been a bit boring, huh?
I mean, it's just because it's been so dominated by Red Bull. Like by the time it's mid laps, normally there's like 50 something laps. By the time it's like 20 laps in, Red Bull's already up by like 30 seconds. So there's
not even that many crashes. Like, I'm waiting for the crashes to happen all too.
Everybody's driving smart, dude. If nobody
everybody's driving Monaco
smart today in the rain,
everybody's wanting points. Nobody's crashing. Nobody's like going hard into other people. There's not really been any like.
It's gonna happen. Dude. There's no drama.
There's no drama. I'm like waiting for it. Like, it happens every season. All the drama, and there's no drama. There's clear cut.
There was a little bit of drama in Baku whenever old Mercedes boy hit Max Verstappen's side pod, and Verstappen called him a dickhead. God, who's the new guy from
George
Mercedes?
Russell?
George Russell. I hate George Russell. Yeah, George Russell hit him, and he was like, I didn't have any grip in my tires. And Verstappen was like, none of us had grip, jackass. He's like, give me some space. And then
to be fair, Verstappen's always asking people to give him space. He gives nobody space. He will literally wreck into people because he's not giving them space.
Yeah,
so for him to ask for space is like pretty ridiculous. But with that being said, hell Red Bull, Verstappen's the best driver ever. I hope he wins every fucking race from here through 2050.
Yep. He's probably going to go down as the best driver in history. Let's push Lewis Hamilton to the side, push him to the back of the book.
Lewis Hamilton's pretty badass, I'm not going to lie.
We'll slowly forget about Lewis Hamilton.
You know what else is badass? Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is a badass heavyweight. I don't know how he fares against John Jones. There's that whole debate. But Francis Ngannou signed with PFL.
That's gross, man.
It's a big signing for PFL. It's a huge signing.
What is he going to do?
Well, they've got some time to figure out who he's going to fight.
Who do they have? I don't think
they don't have much right now.
They have anybody that's like even good enough to make the UFC roster. in the heavyweight.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, them getting Francis Ngannou is better for the PFL than not. Francis Ngannou
I feel like
has,
they're just wrapping up too much money in a guy who doesn't want to fight.
I think he's ready to fight. I think he's open to fighting. It's just who are they
He wants
gonna?
to box.
I mean, that's fine too. He wants to make
He
money.
wants to fight Tyson Fury.
He wants to be his own enterprise and be able to make money off of his own brand as
I
opposed
mean,
to
yeah,
being
that's good for
controlled
him.
completely by the. Let's be real, the UFC completely controls players and is a profiting organization off of these guys, and they barely give them
Absolutely.
anything. Like, let's be real, Francis Ngannou is. I'm happy with Francis Ngannou what he's doing because he's going to completely change the. He may. The PFL is rumored to be buying Bellator, which is only going to add more talent, which is going to only make them more of a premier fighting organization. And it's about time somebody started competing with the UFC because the UFC, there's nobody like going up against them, so they can treat their fighters however they want. They can do whatever they want. Where are they going to go? They're not going to be going to anywhere else who has like any kind of premier fighting league either. But PFL is they're on the up and up, and I hope Francis Ngannou signing with them creates more. I don't know. Um, promotes more activism and getting more things for fighters, like some
I can
sort of
see
health
that.
insurance, like something.
Yeah, there's a lot of UFC things where the dudes get railed
They get
pretty
railed and they get
hard.
nothing for it other than what the check
It's
they make
very
during the fight.
hard to make a lot of money in the UFC until you're very good. Like all
Yeah.
the up and comers, they're actually starting to like go bare knuckle fight because they get paid like 50 to 100K on those fights. Typically in the UFC roster, when you're starting up, you make 20K a fight.
If that too, man.
Yeah.
If
So
that.
yeah, I mean, good for him. He's getting paid. He's starting a PFL, whatever, in Africa too. He's making probably gonna
I
make some
mean,
big
huge
moves.
strides for him, which is great. And I
I just
honestly,
don't. I think it's just gonna fall off now. Like
you
I
think
don't
so?
see Ngannou fighting anybody that is gonna get his anybody's attention.
But let's be real. If he even then though, he doesn't have to fight like the biggest name too, and he can knock that person out, and it would
Yeah,
still
but you know what
be
I'm
it would
you know
still
what
be
I'm gonna
great. It would still
do
be Ngannou knocking someone out.
if Ngannou is fighting right now and he's fighting some freaking backup fighter from PFL. I'm just gonna stream it. I have no intention of buying that fight.
Well, I mean, I think if you're gonna stream it, I think most people who stream it are gonna stream it anyways.
Yeah, but like
Let's be real.
there are UFC cards where you're like, I gotta get together. We gotta get like a party going. Like
That's
this
true
is unreal.
too. We need to,
And
yeah,
I
that's
just
true
don't see
too.
that with Ngannou. Like you have no attention coming from his fights in PFL. Even if he's fighting Tyson Fury, like I don't see that. He's not a boxer.
Well, that's a
like,
boxing match. I don't know if
I feel like
Tyson.
he'd probably get finished in like 2 or 3 rounds. Like that just doesn't. I don't know. And Ngannou does not grab my attention unless he's fighting a top tier MMA fighter, and he's gonna like knock him out. Because otherwise, he's just gonna go fight backups at PFL, and he's gonna knock him out,
We'll
and
see
it's
how
just
it
not
goes.
exciting.
Or if he loses, like that's a terrible
Yeah, then his
look.
career is even more over.
That's a terrible look. But speaking of big fights, Gaethje Poirier comes up in July. Honestly, there's not too
BMF.
much coming up, but Gaethje Poirier is fighting for the BMF belt. And honestly, they are so deserving to be fighting for that.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be one of the. I'm gonna pull the card back up. It's gonna be one of the like biggest cards probably in UFC history. Um, but let's see, Gaethje and Poirier.
Gaethje Poirier, man. There hasn't been too much big fights recently either.
There
We
really
saw
hasn't. It's like a little month and a half of like kind of blindness. So
we
this
were
is the
talking
Gaethje
about.
Poirier fight.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
You got. I'll start at the bottom of the card. You got Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland fighting. Anytime Kevin Holland is on a card, it's going to be a
Dude,
good card.
I love to watch Kevin Holland fight.
After that, you have Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rogero de Lima, which Derek Lewis is another big dude on a card. He's going to be
Anytime he's
exciting.
fighting, Love to watch that card.
Next fight just gets these fights literally just get even better and better and better, which is crazy. Next fight, Stephen Thompson and Michael Pereira, like two just great fighters. Stephen Thompson's so technical and Pereira's just
Explosive.
so explosive. So another great fight. Next fight, Paulo Costa, who's a top tier welterweight or middleweight, fighting Ikram Aliskerov, who's like one of the up and coming middleweight title contenders.
Paulo Costa, I feel like hasn't fought in a while too. Like about time we get to see him fight.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. So we'll see what he goes. That's another great fight. Next fight, Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Two just old dudes, throwing
They're
hands.
just needing a win, hungry
One
for
of
a
these
win.
guys needs a win.
They need a win. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be going ham on each other.
I'm surprised that fight is that high on the card, to be honest. That's the third.
It is a little bit surprising, but I think it's the
name.
the need for the win. Like I think that's what it is. It's going to create two hungry fighters, which is they're probably going to throw down, honestly.
Just to get knocked out the next fight after. God almighty. All right, so the co-main event. This is a great fight. John Blachowicz and Alex Pereira for the next title contender. It's going to be so good because John Blachowicz is a great wrestler. Alex Pereira has stone hands. And Blachowicz says he wants to
Blachowicz is good on the stand-up too.
He wants to test his hands out.
And let's not only that, Blachowicz fought Israel Adesanya. And he came out on top.
Tell he was just too big for Israel.
He was too big for Israel. He came out on top against Adesanya, and it wasn't even close really either. Like it wasn't competitive. Blachowicz pretty much controlled the whole fight, and he took the fight. Like so, that makes it
would be a awesome
really interesting.
Is if Alex Pereira, who already beat Izzy 3 times, goes and beats the guy who beat Izzy.
Yeah, no kidding. It's just another notch, right? It's just another notch on the belt against Adesanya. Like
this dude's just like tarnishing anything Izzy does. Anything and everything.
Look, hey, I moved up and I knocked out the dude that you couldn't even beat when you moved up. Like, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, though, Adesanya KO'd that dude amazingly. It was nasty. Yeah. That was a nasty win. Like, to be real. But honestly, though, come on, Adesanya. It's 1 against 3. Like,
1 to 3, bro.
It's 1 to 3. Like,
you probably get knocked out in the next fight.
You probably don't need to be gloating. Like, come on, man. You got 1.
And then you got the main event: Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt. 2 of the baddest fighters in the UFC. Both literally just throw hands. Dustin Poirier's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but
it's going to be a stand-up war.
Box.
It's going to be a stand-up war.
They're going to stand up in the middle of the ring for 5 rounds, 25 minutes, and they're just going to throw hands.
They're going to throw hands, fist to face. Somebody's going to be crowned the new
The last time they fought, it was a great fight, and they've literally just gotten better. So I can't imagine how much better this fight's going to be.
Super exciting. I'm excited for that.
That's coming up in the end of July. So we got a little month till it, but, looking forward to it.
It's, that's just what it is.
Little ways.
It's just what it is. All right, let's get into a little bit of MLB. I want to talk a little MLB. Sam's been doing like a series. He's been doing like a top 8 position players. So I think he started at second base. He went to shortstop. Then he went to third. I think he's doing catcher next. But I wanted to speak on it because he's doing he's doing a little series of top 8 at every position. And his shortstop was a little suspect. It was a little sus. It was almost criminal where he put Bo Bichette. It's criminal. I feel like it's criminal. He put him at number 3. I'm not going to tell you the number 1 and 2 positions. If you're interested, go out there and listen to it. It's pretty informative, honestly. So if you're listening now, go check out those top 3 or top 8 position players at each position that he has. He's running some stats. He's, letting you know OPSs, batting averages, that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. But Bo Bichette, number 3, a little criminal.
Did he have Trey Turner on there?
He did. But I'm just saying, a little criminal.
Go listen to the list and, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. He definitely wants feedback so he can, grow as he's doing these individual ones.
I've been enjoying it though. I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying it. I've been watching it. But I actually
everybody else is too. Extra content.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. If everybody kind of took a listen to that. Um, I recently visited Pittsburgh. It was pretty nice. This is pretty. You've never been to Pittsburgh?
What is that called? The Steel City?
Yeah, it's pretty nice, man.
Did it look like steel?
Dude, they had steel bridges everywhere.
Hell yeah, that's why
Dude,
it's called the Steel City.
everywhere, dude. It was
That's
so
awesome.
cool, man. I was like, oh, I want to go downtown, check it out. I was like, I'm gonna go to this Point State Park where the three rivers like intersect, and there's just like this park at the point where they intersect. It's like I'm gonna
Uh,
go. Oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna go over there, walk around. Went over there, walked around, and I saw like PNC Park. I saw Heinz Field, which isn't called Heinz Field anymore, where the Steelers play. The city backdrop, it was, dude, that city was beautiful. They had all
dude,
the yellow like steel bridges.
Pittsburgh is a beautiful city. They have a really nice downtown. Like
I want to talk about
it's
PNC Park because I was like, I need to go walk over there. So I went and walked over there, and I was looking at the stadium because I was right up on it. And I was like, this looks like a minor league stadium. Like it just looks like a minor league stadium. And then as I was looking at the views and like how intimate it was and the backdrop of the steel
the
bridges, the city,
city.
I was like, dude, this is amazing. Unfortunately, they didn't have any games going that week while I was there, but I'll be back there in Pittsburgh and I'm gonna go to a game and I'll report back because it looks like it's probably just an amazing place to watch baseball.
I think it's definitely one of the nicest parks with like backdrop scenery wise.
It
I
may be
definitely
number
think
one,
it's
man.
one of
It's
the top up there.
probably top three.
Yeah.
Uh,
I definitely think that because you have all these other parks that are super nice inside and all that stuff, but
right, for
whenever you
sure.
have a nice backdrop, sunset, like
There's a
doesn't get much
there's a
better
good
than that.
amount of cities. Maybe top five, but yeah, it's so nice. And Pittsburgh's not bad this year. They are not bad this year. Which
Surprisingly.
actually, let's talk about like who are the top tier teams actually in the MLB right now. Obviously, the American League East, the division, everybody is over 500. They all have a plus run differential, and it's not even close. They're pretty good, like above the run differential.
Yeah,
Um,
we're gonna start in AL East just because that's what everybody cares about. Best division in baseball, toughest division. Rays still hot, 39-16.
they're
They
the
just
best team
never
in baseball.
seem I mean, they had a tough series against the Blue Jays, and then they just picked right back up. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
best team in baseball. They play in the toughest division, and they have that record.
Next we have Orioles in second at 34-19, which is insane. They're so young
They're
and they're
really good.
so good. It's
They're a very,
crazy
very
how
good
good the
team.
Orioles are.
I
Then
was
you got the
saying that early in the
Yankees.
year. I was like, the Orioles are for real, man. The Orioles are real, and they're proving it.
They're pretty good. I'm gonna say everybody in the AL East because
They're
everybody
good.
in this division right now is competing for playoffs. So Yankees are in third at 32-23. Um, they've felt like they've underperformed, but
They're
who
so
cares?
good.
It's the Yankees.
They got decent
The Red
pitching.
Sox are 28-24, which are finally healthy at pitching. So I think it's going to be good for us. We
We'll see.
finally, our pitching has been doing very well over the last 10 games. They've
I'm
had
gonna
like
be
four.
honest. I'm surprised the Red Sox are doing as well as they are.
If
I'll be
honestly, if
real.
our
Like,
offense wasn't so cold the last, we'll say 10 games, we probably would be in second right now. But our offense is
yeah,
just gone ice cold. Everybody's cold at once. It's rough. Our pitching
the
is
pitching is the issue.
outstanding.
I don't know. The
Our,
pitching is
dude, our
never.
pitching in the last 10 games has only given up 4 runs once.
That's pretty good, I guess.
That's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
Blue Jays 28-26, which they feel like they're underperforming, but I don't know, man. Blue Jays, I don't
They'll
like their
be
vibe.
there, man.
They're cocky.
They'll be there.
Bo Bichette,
They got a
screw
good
that
team.
guy. Go to the AL Central. This division's kind of ass, dude. Twins in first at 27-26.
They're the only good team in that whole division.
They
We
got
can
the
move on.
Tigers.
No, the
Yeah,
Twins
I
are the
mean,
only good team in that whole division. They're the only ones
do you
with a
think the White
positive
Sox
run
make a
differential.
comeback?
No, I don't. I don't. I think they're
They're
terrible.
so good though.
No, I think they're
Okay,
terrible.
AL West. AL West is gonna be tight this year. Got
Oh
the
yeah, I like
Rangers
it
at
tight.
33-19. They're the Rangers have some very good young guys who just came out of nowhere.
Dude, the Rangers are so exciting to watch.
You know who only has a better offense than the Red Sox? The Rangers.
Dude, I already went to a game this year to watch the Reds Rangers game. They're so exciting to watch, man.
Their stadium's probably filled out right now. They're probably
Yeah,
their games are probably so good.
I can't wait to. I need to go back again. I want to go back again.
Second they have Houston at 30-21, and they just got
This is a good
Altuve back,
division.
so
Yeah,
they're gonna be right back up there. The
Angels are pretty
Angels are
good, right?
performing this year, 28
Yeah,
and
they're finally
25. They're actually playing some good
finally.
baseball. So this is going to be one of those divisions to watch because one of these teams may miss playoffs, and it's going to be super important. The fact that you have those three teams, and then you
Yeah,
have the entire AL East, and somebody is going to miss playoffs, sucks.
it's probably gonna be the
But
Angels.
yeah, probably it'll probably be the Angels and
Just
Astros
just
will.
wasting the top two tier like best Major League Baseball players like generationally and forever. Like they're just gonna waste their talent and miss the
It's so
playoffs.
bad. Then we go to the NL National League. Braves looking pretty good.
They're fucking good.
31-21. They've just been so like injury prone this year. If they
Yeah,
just,
but
if
every
they could stay
position
healthy,
up and down the lineup is dangerous.
yeah, they're stacked. When the Red Sox played them, their literally entire lineup was like, all right, well, we don't have any, you can't really pitch around any of these guys because you get to the 9 hole and this dude's just still hitting bombs. Like they're stacked. Mets have been underperforming in that division. Phillies, same thing. It's been
Even then
pretty
though, the Mets
sad.
underperforming, they're not in like a bad position. They're
No,
still
they're
they're
still
still
in
in
there. Yeah,
contention.
definitely still in contention. NL Central, we got this. This is another one of those trash divisions, but have the Brewers and Pirates competing for first right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like meh.
The Brewers are okay. They're decent.
NL West, this is another great division this year. I don't know how this is going to finish. Got the Dodgers in first, the
Yeah.
Diamondbacks in second. Who the Diamondbacks are super surprising this year.
They really are.
Their offenses came out of nowhere. The Giants, who are always competing, and then the Padres, who have started very slow, but I expect them to pick it up. And
They're
gonna
starting to
get
pick
hot.
it up a little bit. And then
Now that Tatis is back, they're
yeah,
gonna
they
get hot.
honestly they've been pretty terrible.
They've been awful. The only people who have scored less runs are the A's.
God, that's awful.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
want to be
disgusting.
in you don't want to be in any stats with the A's. They are terrible. They are so
Yeah,
bad.
the A's might be one of the worst teams in
They're
MLB history,
There's
to be honest. Like the 2023 Oakland Athletics are
cannot
gonna
they
go
can't
down.
beat any series against any team in history.
They can't. Yeah, no, nobody. It's disgusting.
They're pretty bad.
It's awful. Yeah, that's pretty roundup. It's been, dude, baseball's been so good this year. Me and Des watch a baseball game almost every day. We're all
Yeah.
about baseball.
Yeah, it's been pretty nice just throwing one on. But let's transition over to the NFL really quick. There's really not much happening. There's not much that we've really even could think of to talk about. But Hopkins was cut recently from the Arizona Cardinals, so that's something.
It's so weird, man. Like
It is weird, right? They were trying to trade him, trying to get something for him, and they ended up
Like
not
nobody-
getting anything.
yeah,
And
and then
so
they
they
just cut
cut
him.
him.
Like, and they literally took on his entire salary cap for the year. So like, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. Maybe Bill O'Brien was right.
Dude, anytime you say maybe Bill O'Brien is right,
He's probably wrong.
that's terrible. You don't ever want to go with anything starting with that statement. He was
no,
awful.
No, who was gonna cut D Hop? There's
I-
got to be some
Bro,
bad.
maybe
bad
Bill O'Brien's
juju going
right.
on.
Like I can't. I cannot.
Dude, Houston's on the come up.
The Texans
They
are
set them
better
up for
off without
success.
Bill O'Brien. They're so better off without Bill O'Brien.
You know who
Even
we're
though
also
they're
better
terrible.
off with? We're better off without Deshaun Watson.
Oh man,
Yeah,
bro.
move
Yeah.
on. Move
They're on the come up. They have some really good draft picks. So yeah, Hopkins, where does he go? There's some.
Dude,
I
he's
know
gonna
we
go to some
talked about it,
stacked
right?
team. Kansas
He's gonna-
City.
It's gonna be a good team. Has to be,
Uh,
right? The Chiefs,
Maybe
like
the Jets, New York Jets. Like
I know he wants to go. He's talking about he wants to go to the Ravens. He wants to go to Buffalo. It's Kansas City.
He's
was
about to
another
make
one.
somebody's offense
The
extremely
Chargers.
explosive.
He wants to go to a good team with a good quarterback. We'll see what happens. They may not happen. So we'll keep an eye on that. See what happens with that. But
I got one more thing before we transition. I don't know if there's many golf fans out there, but this past weekend,
Fuck yeah, there
last
is,
week,
dude.
we had we had the PGA Championship going on, and Live Golf showed up. I don't know how many people are fans of Live and the new league that made
Blood
all
money.
the people rich,
Blood money.
but they showed up, dude. Bryson DeChambeau was competing. I think he finished top 10.
Blood on their hands.
And the winner of the tournament plays for Live Golf, Brooks Koepka, and he absolutely dominated the entire weekend. He looked controlled.
He played really good.
He did not look like he ever lost any composure. If he hit a bad shot, the next shot he was just birdie next hole. Like,
Dude, I love Brooks Koepka because he just goes and just plays.
he's just one
He
of
just
the
goes.
boys.
He's just a
dude.
bro. He just goes, hits the ball, and moves on. Kind of looks at the shot a little bit. Doesn't really
plays
go.
golf.
Just plays. Just hits the ball. I'm ready. Yep. Let me look at where I want to get this.
He's not like
Pick my
Patrick
club.
Cantley
Patrick
taking
Cantley.
60 seconds to hit his tee shot off the freaking with his driver, bro.
Dude, you can have 3 outs in the MLB nowadays. Like before Patrick Cantley even hits his
Go 2
fucking tee
innings.
shot. Actually, Brooks Koepka's been outspoken about stroking guys off. Like,
That's one of the things that we've been talking about in our podcast chat lately. Is if you haven't seen the clip of Brooks Koepka talking about slow play on tour, he pretty much said, like word for word, I think we should start stroking guys. Yeah,
he's like-
yeah, that'll speed up play. So now there's all these memes coming out of like dudes acting like they're stroking guys, asking guys to speed up play. Like, oh my god, dude, so straight faced too. He didn't even like acknowledge the
stroking
gayness.
stroking guys.
Oh, dude,
how do you
that
think we
was-
fix this? How do you think we fix the speed of the play? I think we should start stroking guys.
straight face,
Straight face. No reaction. Just complacent. And I was like, you know what?
I love Brooks Koepka. He's probably one of my favorite golfers.
He's awesome.
Him and Victor Hovland, dude. I love Victor Hovland.
Victor Hovland. I think Victor Hovland's awesome. I love that dude's like
He's up and
always in
coming.
contention. Super awesome.
I think he finished top 5 in the last 3 or 4 majors, like every
Fuck
single
yeah.
one of them.
Let's transition. All right. Let's transition over to some gaming topics. And on this episode, we're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about some like cell phone games.
Hell yeah,
They
dude.
call 'em cell
Everybody plays at least one game on their cell phone.
Do we still call them cell phones?
I just call mine an iPhone.
We just call them phones, right? Nobody
Like
really calls them
iPhones.
cell phones anymore. Is that me? Is that just like an old man thing? I feel like an old man saying
nobody
cell
calls
phones.
it cell phone. Yeah, no.
I feel weird.
What
I
do
feel
Android
really
users
weird.
call their phone? Phone?
Phone.
Hmm.
Weird phone.
Trash
Probably.
phone.
Trash phone.
Hmm.
Wrong phone.
You know, one thing I did notice about all the mobile games that me and Desiree both play, they all look terrible on her Android. And they get to you go on my iPhone, and they're so smooth and
graphics.
clean picture, like, and the colors look great. And then you go to Desiree's, and they look all laggy. It's gross.
You're like, whoa, why does my character not have that attack? Like, usually when I throw this flame ball, it's just like a Super Mario, like, rolling little flame. Yours is like a full-on inferno.
Laser beam. Like, yeah, your shit's lagging, bro.
Yeah, iPhone is
Yeah.
king.
So what do you play? You've been on some mobile games lately?
Yeah, so something that I've been playing for like years, and it's been on my phone forever, honestly, but I've just gotten back into it, and honestly, it's kind of destroying my life. And what I mean by that, it just takes up so much of my
So
time.
much time.
Like, I'll start playing it, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like,
God damn, how many levels did I just play?
what the fuck am I doing right now? But to be real, my house looks amazing. Um, and the game I'm talking about is Homescapes. I don't know if there's anybody out there who plays Homescapes. I've been playing Homescapes for so long. I will say I introduced the game, well, Homescapes and Gardenscapes. It's kind of the same thing. Homescapes is one, it's a game, where you mix kind of like Bejeweled, you mix some like specific items that you have to match and move some things together. You match them like five in a row, you get them, and then it creates like a bomb because you matched them, or things like
Kind of like
that.
Candy Crush.
Kind of like Candy Crush, but every time you defeat a level, you get like you know, you rack up like these little points or whatever, and then you can improve your house. Like, right, so you have like this big house, and say it's run down, you purchase it, and then you're like, oh man, I want to like upgrade like my kitchen, and then you have like these upgrades you can continue to like do over these huge houses. You can upgrade the outside, you can upgrade the yard, you can upgrade like the porch. You just continue to upgrade these houses. The same thing with gardenscapes. You have like these massive amazing gardens that you create. So I've been playing that for a while, and I introduced it to Dez, DV Derp, and DV Derp surpassed me on like
Dude, she went
other
hard
levels.
on Gardenscapes.
I was probably 2 years in before I like actually introduced it to Dez, and she's like on another planet now. Like literally, she's like has like a house on Mars.
Dude, she has this thing with mobile games where she commits so hard because she's done the same thing with me too. I was playing this game Empires and Puzzles, and it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like Candy Crush with different things, but it's like fighting. Like you have five people on your team. Each person has a color. Each time you like make a three of one color, it does damage, depending on what character you have of that color. So I got her into that game. And literally, like in 2 months, I'd been playing this game for like a year, and in like 2.5, 3 months, her people were better than mine. I was like, I don't understand how? What are you doing? Are you spending all of our money? Is that where all our money's going? You're just buying everything? And she's like, no, the game just gives me all these five stars max people. I'm like, I literally have like 3. I've been playing for like a year, and they just gave you like 8 in like 2 weeks. But it's literally feels like that with every game because we started playing Heyday too. I've been kind of on the Heyday train.
What is that?
And it's a farming game. So you essentially just have a farm.
Oh hell yeah, Farmville!
crop.
Let's do it.
It's like Farmville. You got pigs, and she actually just got a hippo, which is kind of cool.
On a farm?
Yeah, dude, she's got a hippo.
No,
You
that's
get a
too
rhino.
far. That's
You can get
dangerous,
everything.
dude. You don't
No,
need a
you can get
hippo
everything.
on a farm.
No, it's fine. It's a good hippo. It's a good hippo.
What does the hippo
It's-
do?
It just sits there.
You don't need a
Yeah.
hippo on a farm.
It just chills. It just chills. But
That's
so we started playing
dangerous,
Heyday,
man.
right? We played Heyday,
Okay. What are you growing? Wheat?
and we started at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were pretty close, and then I fell off for a little bit. And next thing I know, her
Yeah.
farm was massive. It's like, what happened? So then she started donating me all these things to like help my farm because I was so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell off again. And then I come back again, and she's got hippos and shit. I'm like, bro, you had a cat before. Now you have like a hippo. You got rhinos.
Why do you need a hippo and rhino on a farm?
All this random shit? I don't know. And the funny thing is, I don't know if they give you anything because when you have like pigs and cows, they give you like bacon and milk.
Oh no shit.
But I
That's
don't.
cool.
I don't know if a hippo gives you anything.
It doesn't give you anything other than fear of going into the water. That's all it gives you.
I guess it's true. This game's cool though. If you haven't played Heyday, go play it. You got a farm. You can fish. You have like a little lake you can fish on. You got
That's
these
cool.
missions.
She's just
Sounds
single-handedly like feeding the nation, right? Just the U.S.
Just
based
exactly,
off,
yeah.
off her farm alone.
Yes, and then she has
I think there's laws
Like
against
others.
owning like a hippo on a farm, though. I don't think you can do that.
nah, no shot. No shot.
No shot.
No.
Am I just making it up?
Freaking
Am I
Mike
just making
Tyson
it up?
had freaking tigers, dude. There's a
That's
will,
true.
there's a way.
That's true. You know what? That's a good point. You know what's something else I wanted to talk about? It's just kind of random. It's kind of like really random. Snapchat AI.
Ugh.
No, not feeling it
I don't have Snapchat anymore
because of the AI.
because the AI.
It's kind of scary, right?
It's weird. It's just weird to me.
It is a little weird.
Like,
I started talking to him.
did you? Is it
Yeah.
weird?
I asked him what his name was.
What do you say?
He said,
Mark?
no, his name was My AI. I was like, do you like your name? He was like, yeah, it was given to me by my creator. And it's like, oh, okay. Do you want to be called something else? He was like, no, I like my name. I was like, God damn, I don't want to fucking call you My AI. That's a terrible name. I was really hoping you would like be like, oh yeah, I'll take another name. Like name me.
Yeah, call me Marcus.
Yeah, right? Or Steve. Something. Now I just call him My AI. Hey, My AI, what are you doing? Like, hi, what do you like to do in your free time?
It's like, chat. Watch where you're going. Look at your stories and watch your life. Like to look into all your conversations. I really like to learn about you creepily.
I like
Nothing
to
weird.
study you and use your information for other purposes.
Like, how weird? How weird is that?
He's
And
not very.
The thing that's weird to me is you cannot disable it.
I don't know how smart it is because I had asked him some things about like some workouts because I was like, oh, I'm gonna kind of use them to my benefit. I was like, what's a good like quick workout like no weight, like only body weight workouts or whatever. And he's like, oh, well, I don't really know, like, but I'm sure like I can refer you to these websites they know or these YouTube videos. And I was like, all right, cool, that's fine. Like that's fine, My AI, I'll take that. And then like further along, like maybe an hour later, I was like, oh, hey, My AI, what was the website that you referred me to that we were talking about earlier? And he was like, I have no recollection of blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not, like,
I don't think
I was like, what the fuck, dude? We had a whole conversation, you piece of shit. Like, who else is talking to you? I'm the only one talking to you,
So
and you can't remember what we talked about? You're a fucking asshole, My AI. He probably hears me right now, and he's probably fucking slow. He's probably the one who's been slowing my fucking phone down, just sapping up my fucking. God,
plotting against
bro.
He's plotting against you. You know what, dude? All he is? All
No.
he is the bridge from your life to Snapchat servers. That's all he is. Nothing else. He's not your friend. He doesn't care about you or your conversations. He has no goal to have any relationship with you or anybody. All he's there for is to get your data, give it to Snapchat. That's literally it. He doesn't care about you. If you ask him for advice, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't.
It's been a while since we played this music. This is the conspiracy music. And your boy DV Macho is here with a conspiracy. I believe that Snapchat, My AI, and there's no truth to this. This is all just assumption and conspiracy. But I believe that Snapchat, My AI, has heard the shit talking that I've been making about it on my phone and has been intentionally sabotaging my phone.
Absolutely.
He has been draining my battery. He has been crashing my calls. He has been keeping my phone from processing information. I will literally click a button. Hey, make this call. Hey, make this call. Pushing the button for the call and nothing will happen. I think My AI is a little butthurt.
Definitely.
And I think he's taking it out on me.
Yep.
What do you think?
You know how to fix it?
How?
Delete it. Fuck My AI. You know who doesn't have My AI? Messenger. Fucking love it.
Oh, God. You know what? You might be right. I may need to delete him because he's right here. He's probably listening to all
He's
of this.
definitely listening to
He's
you right
probably going to explode my phone in my sleep.
Yep.
And take my right
Shards.
arm.
Yep.
Bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to get on this. You know what? With that being said, let's wrap this episode up so I can go ahead and delete this right now. We'll talk to y'all next time.
We just wanted to say thanks again, everybody, for listening to this episode of the DV Sports and Gaming Podcast. With that said, we wanted to give you guys a proper outro. Here we go.
All right, guys. So please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We have DV Sports and Gaming for Instagram. Our TikTok is DV Sports Gaming, and our YouTube is DV Sports and Gaming. We post all kinds of videos, all kinds of clips, sports related, and also just gaming clips. So please subscribe and follow.
And don't forget to utilize our social medias to interact with us and give feedback on the podcast and content that we create. We want to build a community around sports and gaming with our fans and listeners. And as always, guys, thanks for listening to the DV Sports and Gaming Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.